Good evening. Welcome to the very powerful full moon forecast. The supermoon is the strongest one of the year, and I'm going to get into why that is, the 5 things that we need to know. I've got divination cards. There's also recommended spiritual exercises, and hopefully you'll find this very informative to get the most out of this energy while avoiding any possible challenges. There's a lot going on in the world. Energies are ramping up big time. So I'm glad that you guys are here. If you're watching this as a video, just hang out another minute because I like to let the live people, give them a chance to get their notifications, the ones that are getting it. And that gives me an opportunity to say hi to who's ever here. We have Hilda, welcome. Good day from Queensland. Yes, I'm planning 2028 for the total eclipse in July 2028 to be in your country. Can't wait. And hello, Yvonne and Suzette, welcome. And Kiki, hi, Laura and Susan. And that's all so far, unless I missed anybody. Dragon Rising, welcome. Welcome to the Botanist. Welcome, Moonchild. Howdy, howdy. And hello, Hilda from New Hampshire, USA. Welcome, welcome. Rainy here in upstate New York. Yep, it's rainy here too. Well, of course, I'm in upstate New York also, so I know that. We're going to start with some astrology, numerology, get into the 5 things. Actually, there's 6. I've got divination card. I think I'm kind of sitting on them. But I have divination cards to get more messages spontaneously from spirit. Let me also turn the pings off. I work a lot from my notes, but I leave open for spontaneous messages as I'm working. That's why the glasses are on. Also, I mean business. This is a great time. It's a powerful time. There's a lot of components. So we've been on a couple minutes. Let's dive on in. Hello, Scotty boy. Welcome, welcome. And anybody that I miss, welcome. So, drum roll. I'm just kidding. So November the 5th. So today's what? November the 3rd. So in just 2 days in the morning. So we're really in the energy now. It's 8:19 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, EST now. What is that? Greenwich time? I can't even. I think that's what 1:19 p.m. Greenwich time. But anyway, it's November the 5th. And that is in numerology 25 universal day. It reduces to 7. So it's very intuitive energy. And that's part of it because this is a very intuitive opening of the veils kind of a full moon energy that we're in right now. So it's intuition, enhances mental function. So with the 2-5, with the 25 energy, it reduces to 7. It kind of engages because 2 is about the duality. 5 very intellectual. It's Mercury energy, but 7 is very intuitive. So it's really a good blend of those energies where we can really connect our right and left hemispheres. And by doing that, we step deeper and further into the quantum field and connect more with our guides. So our minds are likely to be working overtime. So the full moon itself is at 13 degrees of the sign Taurus. The moon is exalted in the sign Taurus. Cancer is the moon's rulership, but when it transits Taurus, it's said to be at its most powerful. It's also a supermoon. In fact, it's the closest full moon in the last 5 years. So this is a very close supermoon. And the next one is going to be a little bit over a year. Next December 2026, we'll have a full moon that's even a skosh closer. But this is in Taurus, so again, that's very powerful. And 13 degrees, that's about transformation, about initiation, things of those levels. 13 is number of death, and we'll talk about that. Death not being unalive death, but spiritual death and rebirth. So it's very transformative at 13 degrees. And since it's in the earth sign of Taurus, which is also Venus ruled, so we've got like those types of energies working as well. Very, very transformative. So that's what I'm trying to say. So let me go my notes. So Mars is going to be transiting into Sagittarius. I think a day or two after it. So it's leaving Scorpio, and the Scorpio um, Taurus stellium is really, really powerful. Like I said, the moon's exalted in Taurus. So this is one of two very powerful full moons. The Scorpio full moon's the other one that happens in late April or May when the sun's in Taurus. So right now the sun's in Scorpio, the moon's in Taurus. So we got that right. Who else just I've been? Hello, Peace. Hello, Millie, and anybody else that jumped in that I missed. So Mars transiting to Sagittarius. So it feeds the Scorpio. What did I write here? The Scorpio Torstellium, but it's going into Sagittarius. So in Scorpio with Mars's energy, the Scorpio energy is very deep. It's very transformative. It's very secretive. But now that Mars is going to transit into Sagittarius, that's expansive. That's very open. So a lot gets revealed. So a lot of the inner work that we're doing in this full moon is going to relate to a lot of spiritual expansion and growth. That's what I'm trying to say. And Mars is also going to be opposing Uranus at 0 degrees. What's 0 degrees? That's nothing, nothing. That's the void. So we have important players at 0 degrees. That's opening up the unknown more to us. It's opening the veils more. And the veils are very thin because we're still in Samhain and Halloween season. So Uranus at 0 degrees Sagittarius, and Mars is at going to 0 degrees Sagittarius from Scorpio, and Uranus is 0 degrees of Gemini, and it's retrograde. So anyway, also 3i Atlas is a wild card stirring up the energies more. So there's already a lot of energy, and if Mars is opposing Uranus and Neptune and Pluto are all in alignment, either trining or sextiling, Saturn's pulled a little bit off temporarily of that 4-planet outer planet alignment. So it's now a 3-planet, but it's going to catch up when Saturn goes direct later on in the year. And then by the end of January, I think at the beginning of February, it's going to be an exact alignment with Neptune. I'm digressing a little bit. So what else? Mars is So Mars will be sextiling Pluto and trining Neptune. So Mars is a major, major player. Mars is energy, action, and it's really going to feed the energies a lot. It's a happy harvest moon. Or wait, this is the what moon is this? It's some full moon after the harvest moon. I forgot the name of it. Darn it. Anyway, all right, so moving right along. So sun and moon opposition, every full moon does a sun-moon opposition. It's favorably aspecting the lunar node, so that allows for positive progressive movement in the earth and in the society, which we need that. So hello, Josh's Universe, and anybody else that I missed that came in. Michael Marr, welcome. So sun-moon opposition favorably aspects the nodes. And Mercury is stationing. The station really begins on the 6th at 6 degrees Sagittarius. And basically, communication issues are one of the hallmarks of the Mercury retrograde. And again, it's an energy that's when the planets are stationing, they're more powerful. It's not negative. We just make adjustments going to the Mercury retrograde. The mercurial energy goes more within, and we clear things from the past, which is one of the themes of this full moon anyway. So that's part of it as well. And so Mercury station on the 6th at 6 degrees. Communication issues, standing still, confrontations that might increase under this influence. Side squaring off, that's part of the energy with Mars involved and other things. And Uranus retrogrades back to Taurus, so it's going to be back in the earth sign Taurus. So that very energetic energy of Uranus, that evolution, revolution, and sudden surprises, that's been briefly in the air sign where it actually does very well. It goes back into the earth and it creates disruptions in the earth. So that could be in our day-to-day society, and that could be geological stuff. And with 3i Atlas, that's a big wild card. That's a big energetic pulse that's traveling through the inner solar system now, closer to the sun. It had its perihelion a few days ago. And there's 2 other comets. So this is also energizing this full moon. So you got the full moon. It's close as it can be virtually, almost literally as close as it can be. And it's got all these aspects connected with it. And it's right at 13 degrees. And in its sign where it's exalted, that makes for a really, really powerful full moon. And there's also a lot of space weather incoming. We had I did the video yesterday. Some of you saw that. So that was a video about what was it about exactly? It was really, God, I need more water. It's been a long day of doing videos and such. But anyway, God, I'm drawing a mental blank. But I did release a video this morning that's very relevant to what we're talking about and what's going on. It will come back to me if I just kind of let it go and move on from that. So, in any event, what was it about? Now this is bothering me because it definitely, the theme of the full moon, but the 3i Atlas. My goodness. Anyway, let me say a few quick hellos and let my brain return back online. I mean, I just released a freaking video this morning. Oh, it's about the solar activity coming in. And this morning, while some of us were sleeping, some of us may have been awakened by it, we had the strongest solar flare in 6 months. It was a moderate flare. It was only an M class, an M5, but it's still the strongest one on the Earth-facing side. So that sunspot group just rotated into view. It fired off from the limb. There was still some radio blackouts in Africa. It was actually a double flare and a long flare. So it produced a CME that's more typical of an X-class flare. We're just going to get a glancing blow, but that's just the beginning. So with 3i Atlas, with this full moon, with the Mercury station, and a few other components, it's all pointing to very active solar activity coming up, and that affects the geology, that affects weather. There's another very powerful hurricane, a typhoon actually hitting the Philippines after we had a lot of space weather and a lot of geoelectromagnetic storming and ionization and energizing of the Earth come in right as Hurricane Melissa was forming. So we had the right meteorological conditions. We had very warm and deep warmth of the area in the Caribbean. It was about 85, 86 degrees. Very little, virtually no wind shear. So all the meteorological components were in play. But then you add this extra energy to the system, and that's part of why it developed so quickly and so powerfully. So we have more energy incoming, probably stronger energy, and it's going to really intensify weather extremes. There could be a big snowstorm later month, even here in the Northeast and other places. So you guys get the idea. So let's dive into the. Oh, thank you, Suzette. Oh, thanks for supporting the channel and our work here. And I love the color of the super sticker today. Thank you so very much. So the first thing that we need to know is everything intensifies, and I mean everything in this intense full moon. So stay in the eye of the storm. We're in the cosmic storm now. What do storms do? They balance the energy. The winds and the rain clear, balance the energy so that new growth can take place. So we've been in this awakening. We've been in this ascension cycle. Now we've entered into the storm. A lot is going to happen. Just say the shit's going to hit the fan, but it's not a negative thing. The systems have to fall. They've been incrementally getting chipped away at. So I think the next several months, we're going to see a lot fall down, basically. So everything intensifies. So let me go on with that. So the closest full moon in 5 years. Now, the full moon is gravitational. It affects water. if it affects the tide, so we have the king tide shortly after that, with the super full moon, we're over what 75% water, so it affects us, and water is the element of emotions. So the moon in Taurus in its strongest, it's exalted in Taurus, and the aspects, etc., really make this a very intense period that intensifies everything. So our feelings, our things in our body, health, lack of health, everything gets intensified, gets pronounced in this energy. And the idea also, with the astrology, if you know your chart, and if you work, I work with Western astrology, tropical astrology, and basically that is utilizing the seasons as the division of the signs. But in sidereal or Vedic astrology, you're using the actual constellation, so it's different. And whatever resonates with you, use that. And I find the Western is good for some aspects, and the Vedic is good for other aspects. I'm finding appreciating both of them. But the point that I'm making is, if you know your chart, see where the full moon, what house it's affecting in your chart, and that's the area of life that's going to be mostly profoundly intensified by these energies. And look at what aspects, what planets are in that house, how they're aspecting in other houses. So anyway, just wanted to make that note. So stronger energies affect the collective, stronger solar activity, so it creates stronger solar activity, more intensity in global events, more intensity of our emotions, our energies intensify. So take good care of yourselves. Give yourself breaks. Give yourself time out for restoration, like restorative yoga, breath exercises, stuff like that are good. Those types of activities. Spend time with friends, community, be around like-minded people. That's if you have friends, and I'm not being facetious, because I mean, I have friends, but I can count them, on my fingers. And I find that a lot of people that are in a spiritual path and are spiritually awake, not everybody, tend to have less friends. And for whatever, there's a variety of reasons. That's not across the board. There are some very, very spiritual people that have tons of friends, but there's a tendency, and part of that is we have our sensitivities. I've lost a lot of friends because people were just not on the same page, and that's fine. But if they start to knock me or criticize what I'm doing because they don't understand or feel threatened or whatever it is, and I know you guys have your own stories, and so that's okay. Anyway, I didn't want to make light of that, but anyway, so the bottom line is, people just can't handle what's going on when the world, the frequencies keep getting stronger, that activates our nervous systems, our cells, that can create discomfort if we're not doing the work. So do the work, because it's the pressures of society, the programming, all the problems and the stress in the world, and plus the fact that these are very intense energies. The energies are getting stronger anyway, and add this full moon, it's even more intense. They affect our cells, our atoms, our energetic fields, and they affect other people's also, and they just can't handle it. So it's important to say in our practice and understand that more people have been losing it and will be losing it. But at the end of the day, it's going to come to a good place, because sometimes you have to lose yourself and really go off the deep end in order to find yourself on a higher level. So people can't handle, so expect more anger, chaos, fear, and all that stuff. And those of us that don't have a lot of friends to begin with, they lose more, but they'll come around eventually. So stay in the heart. Stay. This Uranus transit, it is also brings a lot of charge into the earth. So that's part of it as well. And the collect, stay in the heart, stay in the eye of the storm. We're in the storm, so we stay in the eye of the storm by expanding the frequencies of the heart. The heart is the center of the universe, the center of our personal universe. And the more we can be in those vibrations of the heart, gratitude, appreciation, love, gratitude, I said that twice, compassion, the more we can be in that, the more we're in the eye. The storm can rage on around us, but we're in that safe, calm center. That's what the heart is. And that's Why? On the medium channel and other teachers have been stressing for years now, do heart-brain coherence or a practice that does the same thing, which is basically expanding gratitude and getting you locked into the frequency of your heart, expand your heart. And when the heart is locked in, when you're in the frequency of the heart and the brain reconnect. They get severed through the programming of society, through stress and all kinds of things. But doing that practice reconnects them. And when the heart and the brain are connected, then we find our inner strength. We find our connection to spirit, God, or source, and we blend more with source. And then we get through the storm. Not only get through it, but we are able to direct the movement of the storm to where things really need to be blown down to be rebuilt. And we direct that into perfecting our own lives and perfecting our path. So anyway, moving right along. So what else? So everything, so that's part of everything intensifies. Number 2, the great shaking begins. I think that's the Hopi prophecy, or what are we in, the third shaking? Anybody that knows the Hopi prophecies, unless that's the Mayan prophecies, I've read it. I've studied all this years ago. I need to brush up, to truth be told. But this is the geomagnetic storming. So this is this period, full moon and next new moon, geomagnetic storming. Now it'd be very ironic, and I will be happy to eat crow. Just add a little salt, pepper, and seasoning. I'm good to go. If with all this hype, if nothing happened, I would be thrilled. Although I want to see the Northern Lights, but you know, the last big Northern Lights show here, I missed the big one in May 2024 because it was cloudy. But the next big one was October. Every time there was a substorm and the colors got really beautiful, I felt the energy and I got dizzy and I got nauseous. And I realized, okay, now I know when I feel this way, I know it's due to the frequencies from the sun. So so in any event, but that said, it would be ironic in a good way. I don't know if that's called irony. Then it will be serendipitous, might be a better word. If with all this, you know, the sun's ramping up, all these things are showing almost like a 90+% chance that we're going to get significant geomagnetic storms from solar flares and coronal mass ejections. Also, the plasma filaments are off the hook. There's a coronal hole that making its 10th rotation, which brings a low impact, a high, an ionic stream, but a low plasma density stream to the Earth. And that according to Stefan Burns and a few others, more progressive geophysicists and astrophysicists, believe that actually helps to draw earthquakes out of the Earth. And there's a lot of circumstantial evidence that validates that. But so we get so that's going to rotate to Earth effective around Wednesday into Thursday. The coronal mass ejection, the glancing blow from the last one will hit around that time. But what comes after? So when the low density field hits, and if there's a high density CME, like a plasma explosion here on the Earth, it's even more intense if it's coming into a lower plasma density. And that's what coronal mass ejection have very high density and very strong solar winds associated with it and high electromagnetic frequency. So anyway, I'm digressing a little bit, but there's a little bit of basic space weather and solar weather for you. And it'd be funny if nothing happened. But I did that whole video. You can check it out after this. Only 9 minutes. So it's a quick one. So anyway, full moon. So what's else going on? Full moon, supermoon helps destabilize the sun, heighten solar activity, and the heightened solar activity. The plus side is its light code transmission. So the sun expresses the energies of the central sun. The sun is living. It's energetic. And it's connected to the Earth. We're not separated from the sun. So when changes happen in the sun, they happen in the Earth and the rest of the solar system. And when we have the solar flaring, it's bringing new light code frequencies. So it's not only affecting the Earth and affecting the space weather, but it's affecting consciousness. It's affecting the earth fields, our conscious fields, collective consciousness. It's introducing new codes that affects our DNA, our cells, and our cells restructure to become more crystalline or diamond-like. And these new higher messages from the language of frequency of the sun. So it's all incremented. The frequency, the velocity, and all that is a language unto itself that our souls understand and respond to, our collective understand. So there's that positive resonance with these solar flares and this activity, even if it can be very disruptive. Basically, ejections, not elections. Did I say elections? Oh boy. Well, that's tomorrow, right? All right. So anyway, so 3i Atlas and other factors energize the sun. By the way, hi Lakeside Laura. And energize the earth. So far, full moon. So from the full moon, new moon, and beyond, we're going to have a heightened period of earthquakes, volcanoes, atmospheric event. If everything plays out the way I think it is. So Uranus going into Taurus adds that changeability, that disruptive energy into the earth fields, and helps to shake up the collective also. So, the collective needs shaking up because it's so predicated on programming, and people are so deeply programmed out there. And it's, the programming hijacks the emotions, and people basically are programmed to respond in certain ways based on certain things that happen. It's pretty sad, but at the same time, the programming is designed to self-preserve. So good luck trying to tell people that they're programmed and how to move out of that, because it tries to self-preservate. But so what we can do is raise our consciousness and help others that already raise theirs. And the more the fields get raised, the easier time that people are going to start to see through the cracks in the programming, start to realize, and then start to do their work also. So anyway, so what else? Uranus. So the Uranus in Taurus, it can disrupt the economics also. So we're likely to have an up and down period with the economy, the governments, because that has that Taurus or that earth sign connection with it. And like always, preparation is key. So moving right along, the third thing that we need to know about the energies of this full moon is that it is our time of dying, and ode to or a shout out to Led Zeppelin. Now, our time of dying is the song. Now, art's dying again does not mean unaliving. Dying is symbolic. It's our initiation. So a lot of people are going to have symbolic death, rebirth experiences under the energies of this full moon. 13 degrees, that's the death card in tarot and Chaldean numerology. It's the death. Death is not literal. It's transformative. It's dying to be reborn. It's initiation energy. So this is huge for earth transformation, especially with Uranus diving back into the earth sign Taurus, with Mars also in aspecting Uranus as well. So that's adding further juice to it astrologically. So the earth affects the collective and vice versa. Powerful energies released, perfect for integrating shadows personally and collectively. So that's part of the dying. It's right, the integrating of the shadows. The shadows die when they get integrated because they become light. They get integrated back into light. This is Taurus, Scorpio, supermoon acts intensely on the psyche. Heightened energy generates more power for rebirth. So part of dying is being reborn again, and time to integrate the light and the dark, the seen and the unseen. So that these energies are very good for that. Oh, right. Yes, and horses are very powerful. Yes, whoever said that. Yeah, so if anybody's new here and you're enjoying this, please like our video. That might get it out to more people. If you want to see our videos come up on your home page, please subscribe to the Medium channel. If you hit the bell notification, you should get notified when we release new videos. And basically, we're here to serve the collective, to serve us in our awakening process. So that's what the Medium channel is here for. And we do that through various mediums, including mediumship. So I created this channel as just sort of a, just because I wanted to share what I do in my spiritual practice to support my mediumship. So to me, it's a 24/7 practice. So we go into things like UFOs and extraterrestrials, spirit guides, ascended masters, into things like space weather. And I'm also a meteorologist by trade, so we go into that. And related topics like that. And again, our goal is to be here for people that are having their awakening, to be a place of family, community, and integrity. Because unfortunately, there's so many out there that are really trying, just for profit, to grab hold of the newly awakened and lead them down the wrong rabbit holes. So we're here to really, not be that way, to really support the awakening and helping people to guide them on their journey. It's not like to pull them into my journey, but rather to provide information that'll be meaningful for their growth and ascension. So we work a lot with meditation and stuff like that. So anyway, just wanted to mention that. So let's move on to the next thing. Yeah, and anybody that came in late, obviously you can go back to the beginning. So the fourth thing that we need to know is that our psychic abilities will soar. And it's the Scorpio, that's where the sun is. That's a very psychic, intuitive energy. Taurus is it's an earth sign, but it's Venus ruled, and it's an intuitive sign also. It's a supermoon that activates the psyche more also. The idea here is really to trust your intuition, because your intuition is going to be stronger during the cycle, and work on developing your intuition and work on things like meditation and stuff of that nature. So that's the fourth thing to know, is that your psychic ability will be heightened. Now, that happens every full moon, but this one's got some special qualities to strengthen that and intensify that. By the way, we're going to do a transmission to help you with all of this on Tuesday evening, hours before the full moon, but at 8 p.m. Eastern time, not 7. And I'm not sure if Jared is doing his home at 9:30, the usual time, but I'm hoping that I can do this in between that and Laura from Let's Spirit Guide channel. She does very, very heart-centered spiritual readings for you on her channel Tuesdays at 7 p.m. So anyway, so trust your intuition. The fifth thing that we need to know is manifestation. All full moons are really good for manifestation. Yeah, Mary, I'm glancing at your comments, even if I'm not posting them. And yeah, that part of that's a good point. Part of the psychic ability soaring is that our ability to connect with and feel the spirits, especially because the veils are very thin and our psychic abilities are higher, becomes enhanced also. So that's an excellent add for that. So manifestation, especially work on any law of attraction work that you've given up on, because there's extra juice with this full moon, and it's really connected to the shadows, and it's usually our programming in our shadows that blocks our law of attraction work. I mean, in theory, it's always going to work, but we have, for various reasons, experiences in our lifetimes that shape our beliefs, and we have to believe in what we're doing. Karma is a biggie when it comes to the law of attraction. That doesn't get talked enough, I don't think, in law of attraction circles. But we come in with a certain soul resonance, and of course, part of our learning and growth is to break through the blocks and to manifest that which is hard to manifest. But the idea is that some things are harder based on our soul resonance and our karma. All the more reason to keep working on it. But the good news is this full moon gives you that extra boost to break through those barriers of things that you may not have been able to manifest before. So let me go into some of the specifics. The full moon is in Earth sign Taurus, so that makes it very beneficial for things like money and security. But it's also Venus ruled, so relationship is there also. So it's especially beneficial because of that. Manifestation powers are very high because it's the strongest full moon of the year. because it's a super full moon, so its effects are stronger, and it's exalted because it's in Taurus, so its effects are stronger. Especially good for money security, stability in general, but also good for romance health too, because our bodies are basically connected to the earth. Every cell in our body came from the earth. Of course, the earth came from the cosmos. So it's really good for health things too. And a lot of people have chronic health issues. This full moon gives you a little bit of extra to break through the barriers you may not have been able to break through before. So if you kind of given up or let it go for now, this is the time to start again. Affirmations, sleep programs, that always feel like it's real. Believe it, feel it in your heart, be grateful for it, and be able to see it in your mind, whatever that means to you. If you're not visual, just know it's true in your mind. That's the intention. Be grateful, that's the heart, and the feeling is the magnet that draws the experiences to you. So really feel like it's real now. And what else here? Body, okay. And your intuition is higher, more integration, awareness of the shadow aspects helps identify the deeper sources of disease, financial stress, and why law of attraction work may not be working for you as well as you would like it to. So anyway, well, there's a bonus one. There's 6. Spiritual awakening. So we are in a period of rapid human evolution. We're actually already in the spike of spiritual awakening. That was like in October. I think it intensifies in November, especially with this full moon, and the new moon is crazy. Also, that'll be another key thing. I was just looking at it, and there's like 2 pages of aspects connected to that. Um, so we'll get there in 2 weeks. But anyway, spiritual awakening, big ascension spike. Full moons adds energy to opens up the higher chakras, and helps us to connect with our helpers, our guides, our angels, great spirit source or God. Sun transmits more light codes for the next leap of ascension. So we talked about that a little bit earlier. And 3i Atlas, again, which we don't even know what that is. I'm going to do a video, probably releasing on Thursday, and talk about why that might be extraterrestrial. Like I've been maintaining that through my remote viewing, my channeling, that it's not of extraterrestrial origin. Well, it is, but it isn't. And I'll explain more of what I mean. But I mean, on the 3D level, that I do believe that it is an interstellar object. It might be a cell, like a cell. There might be like trillions of 3i Atlases in the galaxy, and they're part of one organism. That's a possibility also, even though it's mineral based. It could still be, even though it's not biological by our understanding, this could still very well be something that's alive, that has the resonance of consciousness, of feeling, of intention. And in this video, I'm going to dive deeper into what evidence exists that would support that it could actually be an alien craft. So until we know, we don't know. I have not gotten that information through my remote viewing yet, but I did get life, and I did get intention, I did get purpose. I just didn't see a spacecraft or people in it. I'll put it that way. So we're going to do a video to try to kind of disprove what I got in remote viewing. I mean, we can't prove it one way or another, but there's very compelling evidence that would support. If you believe that theory, there's very compelling evidence that supports it, and we'll see what comes out. Now that it's going to be coming more into Earth telescopes, they've already gotten some images through, I guess, orbiters when they were able to fly out of the because 3i Atlas is still in the glare of the sun from Earth. So anyway, but anyhow. So 3i Atlas, like the sun, is a transmitter of higher information from spiritual multidimensional sources. So there's some practices to do. Then I'll do. Oh, good. Listen to Pink Floyd. Which Pink Floyd song are we listening to? Comfortably Numb. Silent Lucidity is a great song. Queensryche's not exactly my favorite band, but boy, I love that song. Gives me the chills. An appropriate Pink Floyd song to be listening to while I'm talking about 3i Atlas is Interstellar Overdrive. And if you guys caught a couple of my shorts about that I use that music in it. That's from Pipers at the Gates of Dawn. Great tune, great tune. We love our Pink Floyd around here, right? So anyway, so besides the usual that I tell you every month, heartbreak, coherence, presence, um, and take especially good care of your body, especially now, 'cause the energies are so high. If we put a lot of crap in our bodies and it clogs up our systems, when higher energies trying to go through us, but we clog our systems, it creates a lot of conflict in our bodies and our energy fields. And of course, we feel crappy because of it. So we don't want to do that. So take especially good care of your body. It's funny, they're saying, try to avoid like deep fried food. You know how to eat well, right? We're not here to lecture you, but anyway, that's something to definitely take to heart. So things will, gosh, let me see if I can read my these things. Okay, there's three things to do that will help you to ride this new wave of ascension. So the first thing is doing a presence exercise. And I first found out about this through Eckhart Tolle's book, The Power of Now. And I've actually added things to it. So presence is meditation taken out of the meditation room, if that makes sense. So when we want to get presence, and if we're doing this in meditation, I clear my mind of thoughts. I become aware of my breath, my body, and the space around my body. Just be aware of everything, gently aware of everything, focusing on nothing. The thoughts come up, be aware of the thoughts. That's awareness also. But don't feed those thoughts. Just let them pass and just stay aware. So when you're doing this, because of this energy, this full moon, what's going to really help is within the light. Like even now, my eyes are closed, but my ring light's on, so there's light shining through my closed eyelids. Find the spaces of darkness within the light. Now, don't try to do that, because then you'll engage your personal mind and you won't be even present. Set the intention. Light is waves. Everything moves in waves. There's always troughs in those waves. So there's always intervals of darkness within the light. So in your mind and attention, you find those intervals of darkness. And if you do that, that's going to open up your psyche big time. And that's going to allow you entrance into the quantum field, or that field of energy, or the realm of spirit. I like that expression also, where all possibility and time exists. Now, you can also do the void technique, where you find when you're in presence, you find the spaces of non-existence within the existence. So we're always vibrating in and out of the void, or the nothingness. Antimatter, it may be the same. I'm not as versed on that high in physics to really understand that fully. But there's antimatter, there's matter, there's reality, and there's the void, that space where all reality came from. Spirit before manifestation, that's the number 0, is the void. So within the spaces of existence, I find the space of non-existence, or the void. So again, set your intention to do that. It's very powerful, especially under this full moon, and it's going to allow you to transcend the human, or the 3D that can be blocking of the spiritual, and allow more spiritual information through, and give you more insight into who you really are. Remember who you truly are, what your mission really is here on Earth and New Earth, and who your guides are, and all of that good stuff. So that's the first thing. The second one, I'm just going to call the flow meditation. The energy is always flowing through us, chi or prana. There's basically, the three expressions of spirit or divinity. What one is consciousness, one is energy, and one is just direct connection. But energy is an expression of the divine. And let me see. Let me grab a little more water. So here we go. So when we're meditating, just start to become aware of the energy. Like it's if I'm not like out of my like if I'm too engaged in my thoughts, then I may not feel, but every other time right now, if I just stop thinking, I just allow myself to be aware, I always feel flow through me. It's like I don't know, like a hum or vibration that goes through me. When sometimes it's stronger, sometimes it's less. The ears start to ring louder, my head starts to buzz, all that stuff. So the idea is when you're meditating, just consciously work on feeling the flow. Now, if you practice Reiki, Qigong, Tai Chi yoga, or any of these practices or related practices, you're more apt to be able to feel these subtle energies. But this is the flow of the divine, of the creator. And we're so programmed, we block it and subconsciously. And when we're cut off from that flow of the divine, then that's when we're vulnerable to disease, because we have cut off from that which nourishes us and supports us spiritually. So flow, and feel the flow of higher consciousness. That and just because this flow, it's intelligence. It's seeking to net. It's flowing through you for specific reasons. Part of that is to clear all the obstructions in your energy fields, in your body. It wants to do that, but we're so part of the programming, and that's just survival instincts, and we gravitate towards the familiar. So when we actually start to feel the flow, a lot of people start to feel fear and nervousness, and they block it. And I find that even to this day, 40 plus years in my spiritual work, that sometimes I have to realize that my body is starting to tense up when the flow is getting really starting to cook. And I'll feel my shoulders or my chin or the base of my spine tensing. And then I'll take a deep breath, relax, and then get back into it. So there's those points of resistances, and that's from our social conditioning and programming. And we're used to being separated from source. So the flow is very powerful, and the subconscious tries to resist. So we have to keep doing it, keep practicing it in order to overcome these. But it's if we let it through, it's going to clear all our disease. It's going to clear our blocks. It's going to clear what blocks we have to knowing who we are as spirit, to manifesting the life we want, and all that stuff. And the energies of this full moon are so good for that. It's so powerful. This is the time to do it. So what else do we say? All all obstruction of human life programming, etc. Yeah, and then as it's flowing, it's transmitting the frequency codes for our DNA for accessing our higher awareness and gifts, flow in the divine, to free from socialization and stuff. So when you're doing this, be aware of the discomforts that come up, but mostly are in the body, because those are the points of resistance. They will tell you a story if you allow them to. So when you do this work or any spiritual work, find those, be aware of the points of resistance. Sometimes it's physical discomfort, sometimes it's emotional discomfort. And there's a language in that. And if you're able to crack that code, you're able to understand where your points of resistance are. Then you can direct your shadow work or whatever your spiritual work is towards working through that, basically. So that's the second thing. And the third thing is to tune in tomorrow, 7 p.m. Or you can watch this or 8 p.m. I'm sorry, Tuesday, Eastern Standard Time. Or you could do this in a video and do this transmission, because this transmission is going to support the work that I was talking about of the first thing, two things to do, and to help to upgrade your energetic fields, to be able to work with higher energies and frequency, to be able to heal and to upgrade and connect more with spirit and divine source. So in any event, let's do some divination cards and we'll finish up. And again, I'm gonna say, I think we did the brief channel announcements early on, but again, for the new people, if you're enjoying this, please like, comment, and we basically, of course, it helps my agenda, obviously, but the higher agenda is getting this information out to more people, because these energies are so high. If we are able to utilize and cultivate them, they can really help us in many ways, immeasurably. But if we're unaware, they can be a detriment. So we want to be aware and work through work with these energies. And these I have three different things I have to pull, and these will give us other messages I may not have picked up on yet. So I'm going to ask Spirit to help help guide me my hand to the right card. And this is Kyle Gray's Divine Mastered Oracle. So that's the first one, and that was easy. It's almost like it's like I felt them just pull my hand right here. Oh, we got two. All right. So the first one we got is Horus, like the Eye of Horus. That's like wisdom, right, and empowerment. Manifestation vortex. That's kind of giving us a little bit more information. That's what the card looks like. It looks like there's an owl, right? The owl, is that Ma'at energy? But anyway, belief makes manifest. Thoughts attract and create. So he talked about that a little bit earlier. So it's putting a stamp on that. Belief is a tricky thing because what we believe shapes our experiences, but what we experience shapes our beliefs. So it's kind of like, all right, this is like a chicken and the egg thing. So how do we hack this? We consciously work on cultivating new beliefs, regardless of our experiences. And, but we also cultivate having experiences to support higher beliefs. So that would be spiritual practice will do that. But I think that's just kind of saying it. And it's the Eye of Horus, and I'm seeing the energy in the third eye. Visualization may be the tool that's most powerful right now in your manifestation. And visualization could be psychic hearing, smelling, tasting, touching. It's not necessarily visual, especially if you have aphantasia. It's not going to happen. But still, if you don't have that I wouldn't even call it a condition, just that tendency where the brain doesn't hold the visual images. You can use clairsentience or other psychic senses to support what you would be seeing if you could see it. But anyway, cultivating the third eye, that's also the eye of wisdom. It's not just about clairvoyance, it's about wisdom, spiritual sight, and stuff like that. But we got the second card, so we pulled two. This was the Lemurians. I think the Lemurians are coming and helping us. And I associate the Arcturians because that's my primary star beings group. And one of the reasons I associate it because I associate both with the Pacific Ring of Fire. And the message is clairvoyance activated. So you can see how these two connect, right? The Eye of Horus, and clairvoyance activated. And the message is psychic awareness, sensitivity, trust your intuition. So I think this is just a spiritual way of saying, adding a seventh thing that's important about this full moon, that this is a great time for your psychic development. Work with your intuition. Do your exercises. We have videos on the channel with lots of exercises you can work with if you don't have your own. And you can look at the playlists. There's two. There's one about mediumship development and another one about psychic development. And I think between them, there's like 40 plus videos, older videos. So they're not as polished, but the information is really quite good, I think you'll find. So anyhow, hey, Sue's in the room. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We love you. Thanks for stopping by. So let's do our, I just wanted to do some medicine cards to pull a totem animal energy that we can work with. This is, as I always explained, it's Native American wisdom. So this is inclusive of only American animals. There's a few South American in, like I think there's a condor in here and a jaguar, but it's animals in the Americas, is what I'm trying to say. Right here, we got our card, and we got the snake. In the year of the snake, we go into the year of the horse next year, I believe. So that's coming up. Shedding the skin, right? The snake medicine is powerful, healing, divine feminine energy, and it's about shedding the skin. So we're developing the intuition, but we're also shedding that which inhibits our intuition. Those are our experiences that we can learn from now and discard. Snakes also are transmuters of poison into medicine, right? Because snake venom can be a powerful healer, or it can be a deadly poison. It's all how you apply it. The poison is the medicine. The medicine is the poison. It's all how you use it. It's the same thing. It's the same energy. So snake teaches us that, and teaches us how we might be poisoning our own lives, and what the medicine and the cure is of that. But it's really about shedding the skin. So I think we're going to see that. That'll be point number 8, that we're going to see that in the world. There's a lot of shedding of skin in society, and we're going to see a lot of corruption rise to the surface, a lot of things fall that need to fall, a lot of illusion, and a lot of the programming rising up, and a lot of people that may have fixed and determined political views. You may find that there's a level of programming that surfaces that it may not change your views, but it may change your perspective on your views anyways. So that's snake medicine for you. And it's very powerful. It's also key 6, which is interesting because that's Venus energy, and it's a Taurus full moon. So for a lot of us, it's a lot of the healing or the transformation is going to come through opening the heart also, as it often does. And the last one is the frequency of the week from the Sacred Geometry Oracle. We're right about at an hour. So thanks for those of you that hung with us for the full hour. Thank you very much. Those of you that came on late, we started off with a lot of information. I recommend you going back and gathering all that. And then Tuesday at 8 p.m., we're going to do our transmissions, and the master teachers will work with frequencies and to help to activate your frequencies for to help facilitate the clearing, the integration, and the upgrades of consciousness and spirituality. So here we go. Found the card. And the card is compassion. So that's of the heart also, right? And it's green and blue. And we have a little bit of a, I see. I have like an ultraviolet light, and then I have the ring light. So that light, it's not an orb. It's from my ultraviolet light, just to be clear about that. And that, of course, is the ring light. But if I can get it out of that, then you can actually see the actual sacred geometry. So that's what it looks like. So the idea is to really absorb that. So I'll hold it off for a second, but I want to read the description also for you. Good. I'm not catching all of your comments, and I have a feeling that they're extra brilliant today because this full moon is really activating the mind. But it looks great now. Yes. So what it says is the frequency of compassion. I mean, I think it's self-explanatory, but I'll read it anyway. The frequency without drooling would be nice. The frequency of compassion supports our ability to drool. Just kidding. Supports our ability to stand by others without judgment and be the divine mediator between heaven and earth, spirit and matter, so that unconditional love can flow from source through our heart and into the world. So there you have it, guys. And we need compassion. Be compassionate for ourselves. We make mistakes, but we're trying our best, right? Like Joe Dispenza says, if we're doing our presence work and our heart work, and we're learning how to just learn to observe our reactions to the world rather than to be our reactions, that we're observing the program rather than being the program. We'll have good days. We'll have bad days. Integrate the lessons of the bad days. Or what he says is that there's victories and there's defeats, but those victories add up. So, pat yourself on the back when you have a victory. Like I tend to be like reactivity in the energy to frustration a lot. So if I get super frustrated, but in that moment, if I step out of that and just watch that, that's a victory. And then I'll solve it much more quickly. If I need to vent something, I'll vent it, but I'll do it quickly, and then I'll get back into the high vibes that way. So anyway, that's what we have. Radical compassion. Yes, that is a perfect comment to end on. I see, we've been sort of up and down, fluctuating with the numbers a lot, but so we went up from about 41 to 50. So again, those of you that came on, if you're interested, we're ending now. But as soon as we end, you can go back to the beginning. And I believe this is going to be helpful information for us. So Tuesday, 8 p.m., we do the transmission. Next live stream after that's probably going to be tarot time, unless I decide to do like a group prayer or activation. Oh, we have 11:11 also. So that's coming up very soon. In fact, we'll do an 11:11 transmission here as well. All right. Very good. We're going to end now. Love you guys. Exactly an hour. We'll see you at the next video. And thank you.